Hey everybody, this is Justin with PumpPal, and today we're going to be talking about why everyone's fitness journey is different and why you shouldn't compare yourself to other people, right? If you enjoyed this kind of content and you want to see more content like this in the future, please like and subscribe to my channel, and we will cover more topics like this later. If you have any questions, um, put a comment in on the channel, and I'll try to answer it the best I can. But this is how I feel about the fitness journey and why you shouldn't compare yourself to others, right? So, everyone's battle in the fitness journey is different. Me personally, I've always been a bigger guy. I've always liked food. I've, ate too much for most of my life, right? And so my battle is always going to be, like trying to cut down on weight, and, maintain my workout regimen. Some people's battles is they're super skinny, they're super weak, and they, want to gain muscle or they want to put on weight. And the thing is with that kind of stuff, I feel like I mean, from my observations, I got no data to back this up from how I feel, how this happens, is that skinnier people tend to think they eat a lot. One, bigger people eat a lot in private. Um, but they think they eat a lot because, like, obviously no one's gonna admit, and when the skinny guy's talking about he ate a bag of potato chips, and he thinks that's a lot of food because in comparison, the bigger guys like, oh, I don't eat that much, blah blah blah, because he's embarrassed of it, right? He ate a whole fucking tray of cookies, right? He ate a whole fucking tray of cookies, and he didn't admit it, and maybe a bowl of ice cream with it too, right? So everyone's problems are different. And I would say like if you ever see like I mean, an example would be if you ever see like a bulky guy, I would say I fall into the bulky, stocky dude. Like you can tell like he has a lot of weight on him, but he also has a lot of muscle on him, right? Um, I can think back at least in my personal life, thinking back on it, I did eat a lot, right? But it wasn't really ever like junk food. Like I've never been a candy guy. I mean, I would eat candy obviously like as a kid. It's Halloween. If I got a bunch of candy, yeah, I'd eat the candy or someone offered me a piece of candy. But I never really went out of my way to eat candy. I was never ever a big chip person. I come from like a poor household, and like my mom couldn't afford cereal. I mean, if you put cereal in the house, we had I have four brothers, one sister, and she couldn't afford to keep cereal in the house because like shit, my brother was also really big into bodybuilding, and he just poured a whole box of cereal into the fucking bowl and he'd eat the whole fucking box of cereal, and then be gone in an instant. She'd have spent $5. I mean, $5 she would be spending shit, $30 just for breakfast and kids if she tried to get cereal. So what she tended to have around the house was giant bags of oatmeal she could buy for $5, and then we'd have oatmeal. So that's one good side of it. Was that, and then like at the time, eggs are more expensive now. At the time, eggs are super cheap, so she always bought the big crates of eggs. So we always had eggs. So I did, and I mean, even as a kid, shit, I have 6 eggs in a bowl of oatmeal in one sitting. So I've always kind of liked that. Ate too much of it. Another big one we always had because ice cream is pretty cheap. We always had ice cream. Not the best, and not the healthiest, but there's still nutrition in it, right? So bigger, stockier guy, chances are he eats too much, but it ends up it's not really junk, right? So like he put on some fat and he put on some muscle. I was on a farm, so I would be lifting things all the time. We're putting a new fence post in, and I'm swinging the hammer to push it inside there. Then I go eat a lot, right? The skinny guy probably didn't have much physical activity. He probably, from what I can see in my observations, no way to prove it, and I could be wrong, right? But from what I've seen, they generally eat a lot of junk, right? So like when they do eat, they eat a whole bag of chips. The bag of chips has no nutrition in it, so they never got the nutrition to even put on muscle mass. Candy, they I've noticed like on lunch breaks, I see a lot of skinny people like when they have lunch, they'll have like M&Ms. They're munching on something. They're not really eating a lot, and when they do eat, it's usually something of no substance. Um, and then you have the severely overweight who have like no muscle, and they have no muscle. It's all fat. They generally are the junk food eater, and they eat a lot of that too. Um, I think, I mean, I don't want to call anyone out on it. I guess I was gonna make an example of someone I know. But they tend to have a lot of weight on them. They're not very strong either. They don't have much muscle mass, and that's their problem, right? And then if you compare yourself to others too, like I've gotten compliments on my shoulders. I've gotten like this is me now. It's hard to see my size within me sitting in this chair, but this is me with a good pump in the gym. I I'm a pretty big dude. I'm 6 feet tall. I'm 200 right now. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm 270 pounds. And my shirt and my pump, it can hide the weight, right? I have a good amount of fat on me still. Um, and so now I'm trying to cut down, right? So, where was I going with that? Oh, but I get a lot of like even in the gym, some guys come up to me and they compliment like my size. One guy complimented my shoulders and stuff like that. One asked for a tip of what I do for shoulders, but I mean my honest answer is like I was born with these shoulders. If you see my dad, you'd see where my shoulders came from. Like I remember I measured them when I was working out. I mean, I can't say it's discredit myself completely. I've always worked out, even when I was chubby. I was doing push-ups in my room, trying to do pull-ups. I mean, I've always kind of worked out, so I can't say I never, didn't earn anything. But to say that like somehow I got my shoulders from, just hard work and grit would be a lie, right? So it would be because I had like I think I remember measuring them once I grew, and they're 22 inches from the start. In this picture, they're 25 and a half inches, right? And when I first started working out, um, I lost a bunch of weight, and then they're kind of bony, so I wanted to work on them. And that at the first I did some shoulder presses to fill them in. And right now I kind of got carried away with like trying to gain weight because I was at the time my lowest I was 185 pounds. And I was I had a little 4 pack, but I didn't like how I looked in shirts. So I simply tried to gain weight, right? Going back to the reference, everyone's battle's different. If you're comparing yourself to me and you're trying to get 25-inch shoulders, I think what is the average? The average is, let me move this aside quick. Let me go average shoulder size. I don't know if you can see this. Am I covering this on the screen here? I am covering it. Let me go on the other side here. Eric, Eric, get this pulled up for you. Oh, great. Now I fucking. There we go. Sorry about that. 16 to 18 inches. Adult males, 14 to 16 inches for women. So I mean, if you're starting at the average point of 16 inches to 18, let's say you're in the 18 inches, and you're trying to compare yourself to me at 25 inches, you're gonna have a tough time, right? It's gonna take a lot of work and massive shoulder strength to get to 18 inch or to get to 25 inches, right? It's because the starting point was different. So you can't compare yourself to other people because there's different strengths and weaknesses, right? Even going back to strength, right? I mean, like I said, I was 6 foot. There's a lot of shorter people. They have their advantages in lifting because they have less range of motion. If you have less space to fill, you're going to put more muscle mass on. So it's actually an advantage in bodybuilding to be shorter. People will notice the muscle mass more. If you think about it this way, I mean, if you have a stick this big, take 5 pounds of beef, right? Wrap it around there. Measure how thick it is. Spread the same amount of beef over a stick this big, right? And wrap the meat around it and see how big it is. It's going to be smaller, right? So even if the bigger guy has, the taller guy has, 5 pounds more muscle, when it's in a compact space, you're going to look larger, right? You're going to be larger and you're going to lift more, but you're going to have a disadvantage, right, later on. Because once the bigger guy gets, or the taller guy gets built in, he's going to have a natural ability to put more muscle mass on. So he's going to eventually get there. That's why if you ever look, I don't know if you follow like strongman competitions, they're all 6 foot, 6 foot plus. Once they hit that point of built in, they're going to be leagues ahead of strength than the shorter guy. But in the beginning, the shorter guy has an advantage, right? There's going to be all kinds of instances like this where you can't compare yourself to other people, right? You can't compare yourself to the guys who've been lifting for 10 years. You can't compare yourself to anyone really because like everyone's journey is different, right? So what you have to do is start with yourself. What do you want to do, right? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to gain weight? Do I want to get stronger? And then work on the things that are holding you back, right? Like me personally, right now, I like right now I'm battling some weight because I had some medications. I'm working with my doctor to get me off these medications that have me gain weight. So that's going to help me lose weight. So I'm going to try to cut down. Right now I'm at 270 pounds. And I'm going to try to get down to the 225 range because I ran the math and that I'd be pretty close to lean, give 10, 15 pounds. Um, and I'll be happy there. And that's also thing you got to kind of set your goals, what your sights on, and don't compare yourself to others. It's because, like, I mean, once again, another advantage. Skinny guy, right? Let's say he starts working out, and one of his advantages is his muscle's going to show, right? Immediately. He starts eating right. He starts hitting the gym. I mean, once he puts muscle mass on, you're going to notice it a lot faster than, say, you're an overweight person, right? And you're going, now, why? Because it's hidden, right? It's underneath the fat. Like, you might have gained 5 pounds of muscle, but if you don't see it, you don't see it until you lose the weight around it, right? And that's half of looking bigger. It's just getting leaner and showing off the muscle that's there. Um, so that's another thing you can't compare yourself to, right? And then you got to look at it as a positive, right? So if you go over those things and you look at like, okay, so I'm a shorter guy, skinny, right? Well, great. Well, the shorter guy, skinny, you're gonna get stronger faster. You're gonna get, you have your mechanical advantage. You're gonna get strong pretty fast. Maybe the taller guy is gonna fall off, right? Maybe he's not gonna have the dedication to keep going to get stronger. Then you can keep going because you get to see the results right away. You get to get stronger right away. Um, if you're skinny, you start eating right, you're gonna put the mass on, right? You can look at it in a positive sense when you're bigger, right? And if you're one of the guys that you ate right, you do have some mass on you. Well, great. You're gonna start off being a bit strong. You're gonna start off, um, at a heavier weight. You might not see it, but the good news is you can eat more calories then as you lose weight, and you can keep your strength, right? So, I mean, you got to look at it, not all the negatives. You got to look at the positives of wherever you're starting, and that's where you start, right? And then you got to work on either your diet. You got to work on if you're not working out, you got to work out. Start working out. I would say that's the first thing you got to get the habit of, right? It doesn't matter if you get a gym membership. It doesn't matter if you want to work out at home. Push-ups are very effective. I did push-ups for a while at the time, like what's it, my early 20s in school. Exclusively did push-ups, and you can get pretty strong push-ups. Bought a $20 pull-up bar, um, and you just do all the variations. Do a diamond push-up. Do wide stance push-ups. I worked my way up to one-arm push-ups. I could do 16 of them. I could do you know I forget how many pull-ups. I think I was doing 15 pull-ups, and I would do fancy shit with it. So I had a pretty strong back. Your legs are kind of hard to hit without weights. But you can do it like jump squats, lunges. You can still do it. You don't need a gym, right? So you start with where you're at. Can't afford a gym? I mean, you really don't have an excuse. You can go to the park. You get started doing pull-ups at the park, do your push-ups at the park. You can order on Amazon, $20 bag of resistance bands. You can get your curls on. Um, Tons of ways. Don't let where your starting point be the determiner of where you're going to go, right? Um, I think that's what I wanted to say in this video. I just want to get the point across. Like, if you start comparing yourself, you start looking at things in a negative light. Start looking at the advantages you do have, and I hope like I brought to light some of the advantages you possibly have. Right? Skinny, you're gonna see it faster. Fat, you're probably gonna fucking get very muscle faster, and then once you're down there, it's gonna be bigger, and you're gonna probably start out stronger than most people. Not in all cases. Like I said, if you're in that group where uh, you're overweight, not that strong, the good news is you can keep your calories higher than most people because you're naturally bigger. You're 300 pounds. Your resting metabolic rate probably around 3,000 calories. And I have a different video if you go searching for it, like how to keep track of your diet and how to make it better. If you want to search for that, maybe I'll put a link in it in the description. But yeah, I mean, uh, try to look at the positives of it, where your advantages are, what your disadvantages are. If you got small shoulders, that's where your starting point is, then great, that's what you got. I mean, you can't change it, right? Um, but yeah, that's what I cover. I think I thought of this video as I was in the gym and someone did like compliment my shoulders and stuff like that, and then I realized I'm like, everyone's comparing themselves to other people, and like the chances of you getting these shoulders slim to none. Even if you worked out for years, maybe steroids. I think what is the average bodybuilder shoulders? What is the average bodybuilder size? Oh, how about I put in average bodybuilder shoulder size? 20 to 21 inches, right? Exceptional elite measurements, right? So not only did I start, my starting point was 22 inches. And these are guys who are professional bodybuilders trying to get to 21 inches, right? 21. Started at 22 inches. So, I mean, don't compare yourself to others. And that, I believe a lot of the people that won the bodybuilding competitions too, or they're my brother's really into bodybuilding. He's really good at it. Um, and he got super lean. He's kind of like a stockier guy like me, and he went there. He won 3 gold medals at state. Um, it's just because we had massive shoulders, man. Like it's like I'm sure they'll go down. I'm sure once I lose some weight, it'll come down, and they'll probably fall around 23, 24 inches, right? So they're gonna get smaller. But once again, I'm only using myself as an example because like I noticed that like a lot of people think like how does he get this shoulder? I notice people copying me at the gym what I'm doing for shoulders, and it's just like I mean you're not getting them. You're not getting them, and you're comparing yourself to someone that started off way bigger than that. But yeah, don't compare yourself to others. Look at your strengths, and work with your strengths. Work on your weaknesses. My weakness is ice cream. Trying to get rid of that. Pizza. I love pizza. Um, like once again, there's worse things you can eat, but pizza's pretty bad too. Um, Focus on what you can change about yourself, right? And where your limits are and what you can work on, not so much of what other people have. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. If you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you're into fitness, want to get in your fitness journey, check out my app PumpPal. It's in the App Store. And check it out. Otherwise, I am going to call it a day, and I'm actually going to go hit the gym now. So you all have a good day, okay?